Hi, everyone. Welcome to our live webinar series. Today's topic is getting started on YouTube. So let's get into it. I wanted to start off the presentation with a little bit of an introduction, and then I'm going to walk you through the agenda that we have for our webinar series, and then we'll get into the topic for today. To start off, I do wanted to give you a little bit of context to who I am. My name is Tharmila Rajasingam. I'm a real estate agent with eXp Realty. I originally started off in the industry as a real estate investor with my husband, whom you might have seen on our social media and YouTube channel. And I've worked in marketing for over 9 years, more primarily in consulting for not-for-profit and the government sector. And more recently, I co-founded a marketing agency called Marketing and Mindset. And it is an agency for real estate professional. And my business partner is actually Jacob. And we'll talk a little bit about that when we get into the webinar at the end of it. And I do want to mention, I am top 3% here at eXp Realty for a revenue share organization. In the last few months, I was able to grow a team of 20 plus agents here across North America. So I want to now hand off the mic to Jacob. So Jacob, if you don't mind giving us a little introduction.
Hey everyone, my name is Jacob Sharman. I am a realtor also with eXp Realty here in Houston, Texas. I have been in digital marketing for over 14 years. And of those 14 years, I've owned my own marketing business and other businesses for over 10 years. I am also bilingual in English and Spanish. So if you need Spanish spoken to you, reach out to me and I'd be happy to talk with you. And as Tharmila said, we are the co-founders of Marketing Mindset, which is really helping real estate professionals elevate their brand and grow their real estate business using digital marketing and other social media strategies. So I'm gonna pass it back to her.
Thank you, Jacob. That's beautiful. Now I wanted to give you a little, kind of walk you through what the agenda is going to be and what is going to be expected in our webinar today. Today, we're going to talk about how to set up your channel. So start from the beginning of everything that is pertaining to starting up your channel. Then we're going to talk about process. And this is a part where a lot of people get inundated and get confused and they don't know quite how it all works. So I'm going to walk you through step by step of how we create videos and how we launch them, edit them, everything you can think of. And I know that in this process, publishing is a whole nother level. And I really want to take time talking about that. And one of the things that helps with us elevating our presence on social media is leveraging number of growth tools and software. So I want to take time to talk about that as well. And then lastly, I wanted to get into is content strategy. So when you're thinking about real estate, it's a different content, it's a different subject. You want to think about what topics to do. And I want to I want to spend time talking about it from a marketing strategy level and thinking about it from goals and target audience, etc. And of course, lastly, we'll just end with letting you guys know what types of equipments we use. That's one of the more common questions we get asked often is what tools and production equipments we're using. So I'm excited to get into the conversation for today. So starting off, Jacob, can you walk us through how to get yourself online on YouTube?
Yeah, certainly. So it's all going to start with setting up our YouTube channel. And so before we even pick our channel name, you're going to want to make sure that you create your YouTube channel. So there's two ways to do that. You can either use the personal account that it's registered, but it's just going to use your first and last name, which I highly encourage you to stay away from that. Just go add a new YouTube channel. That way you can name it however you want. Now, as far as picking out your YouTube channel name, some people will just use their first and last name or living in a certain area. I encourage you to get more creative and do more research to how many channels out there are going to have a similar name. That way, when people are searching for those keywords of what services you're providing as far as real estate in your area, that you actually stand out. So if you have a common name like John Smith, I don't encourage you to put John Smith. Now, unique name, go for it, because then they'll find you every time. But if you're going to put John Smith, then just do John Smith Houston Realtor. If you're going to do the living in a specific area, for us, everybody has living in Houston, but I don't recommend that. Find a more segmented, so maybe you do a specific area or specific neighborhood. If you're in a bigger city, segment that. So for me, I would do living in Sugar Land, Texas. So get very creative and do some research with your channel name, so that way you're found when people are searching. As far as branding goes, make sure you have a great profile picture. So you don't have to put one of those standard real estate pictures, but make sure it's a clear picture. Make sure it represents you and your personality and what you want your audience to capture of you, but make sure it's a good picture. Then your banner image, your channel art. So that's what's going to be at the top when they get to your channel, is they're going to see your banner art. So make sure your name is there, what you offer, who you work with, buyers, sellers, investors. Make sure your area is in there, and then make sure your design too goes with your other social media profiles. So you don't want to have it totally stand out. So use the same colors, font, and things like that. And if you want to keep it super simple, go to Canva, and they have plenty of templates on how to do your banner image. Just remember that on a full width image, your left and your right will get cut off on mobile, and it's going to focus on the center. And then when you upload that, you can move it around and see where everything cuts off and play with it. You can add a video watermark if you're worried about somebody using your videos without your permission. They'll have your watermark. You can watermark a logo in the corner. I know Tharmila does that. They'll have their TNR logo in the corner. It's a great way just to always have your brand there out in front of everybody so they remember that it's you. And then super important, make sure you fill out all of your account info. It's so funny to see how many realtors leave all this information blank, and you're giving up essentially real estate search and when they search, because if you don't have your description, those keywords, not only when you search for something, you also see the videos, but you also see the channels as well. So those keywords, your channel come up, which gives them access to all your videos. So make sure you fill out all of your description. That's what's going to go in that about tab when they click on your channel. And make sure you have all the links to your website, social media, and importantly, that all your contact info is there. You want it to be super easy, whether you're attracting clients or agents or anything like that. You'll always want to make sure that all of your contact info is there. And whether you want them to call, text, or schedule a calendar appointment, make sure it's all there, easy to find, it's everywhere. And that is the basics of setting up your channel. And these are actually very important because this is the foundation of getting that YouTube channel started on the right foot. So I'm going to pass it back to Tharmila, and she's going to go over the recording process.
Awesome. Now that you've gotten an idea of setting up your channel, getting actually on YouTube, now how do you put out content? So in order for me, and Jacob and I are huge on following a system, following a process. Him and I have actually an Excel sheet that, because we have shared accounts of exactly what video is being recorded, what's coming up, what's already been uploaded, what's ready to publish, what's live, so that we both know exactly what is coming up in the next weeks ahead, because you want to ensure you have a proper process in place for algorithm. So you rather be posting more videos over time than less videos. So stay committed to a routine, a schedule, and that's why this process goes hand in hand. So kind of the process of recording and getting your content out is writing a script. Then you go to record the actual content, and then you have to edit it so that you can publish it, which we'll get into momentarily. So when you're writing a script, I started off with a very traditional script at the beginning, which if any of you want to have access, get in touch with me and I'm happy to share them with you. And I would exactly write word for word what I'm going to say, because I was super nervous about getting in front of the camera. So I would literally read per sentence, and it would be a bit robotic, to be honest with you, but I was so new to it. And remember, done is better than perfect, and never getting it done at all, right? So for me, I wrote a hook, then I would write the actual body of exactly the content, and then a call to action at the end. Remember, you want to tell people what to do, and often this call to action could be something like, hey, are you looking to move such and such? Get in touch with me, find out my contact information in the description. Or it can be simple as, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, see more content. Remember, there's all call to action. And for us, Jacob and I, we do content for real estate agents. So what sometimes we would call out to them, letting people know, hey, book a one-on with us for a free consultation. We're happy to sit down with you and talk to you about marketing, talk to you about your future goals, etc. And then next I want to talk about, and also when you're talking about script, I do wanted to mention that, over time, you'll notice you'll become so confident with and feeling comfortable in front of the camera that you'll ditch the script altogether. I literally use a notepad with a couple of points of what I wanted to mention, just so that I don't forget. But everything is, because remember, we're experts in our field. We know exactly what to say, but it's just when we get in front of the camera, we get nervous. So that's why now it's so much more natural. Things are flowing, and I don't say things, word for word from a script. And you'll notice that about you. Once you get more comfortable, things will flow. But for now, follow a system. Next is start recording. And some of the ways you can get comfortable in front of camera is, you can first start practicing in front of the mirror. I did that because as you could see, when I'm talking, I get super passionate. My hands goes flying everywhere. I make weird eye contacts. I laugh. I'm moving a lot. And I realize it can be distracting. So now when you see that in my videos, I'm a bit more stern. I'm looking straight into the eye because I've started looking at myself in the mirror and started noticing that when you look away, when you're talking to people, especially in front of the camera, people, they won't take you seriously because you want to look people straight in the eye. And there are times you could be looking away to think, but you're recording, so you're not having a conversation with people. So also one of the other elements where people get super nervous in front of camera is that they have no one to talk to. So they don't know exactly where to go with it. So I highly recommend that you either put a picture of your family member, someone that you trust, right beside the camera, so you look like you're talking to somebody. Next is, I also at the beginning, because I was super nervous getting in front of camera, I used a teleprompter. So I used a teleprompter app on my iPad. I actually use this for recording ads often, because with ads, you want one full straight edit without having to memorize the sentence, and it'll be like, a couple of seconds of copy. So I always use a teleprompter for that, just for me to remember the copy. And you can put it on and we can talk about this later as well. You can put it on your laptop. So a couple of number of different ways you could use that app. Lastly, I want to talk about editing. So for example, you want to have a couple of processes in place for editing to make your life easier. You'll notice I spent 20 minutes on one sentence, and you'll be sitting there listening for the 20 minutes to find out where the right sentence is. So for that, I always say, keep it to myself. Or because sometimes my husband Josh helps me edit my videos, and sometimes if it's a dual video where Jacob and I are filming, we'll tell each other, oh, keep it or remove it. So you want to give yourself a guidance. Nope, don't keep that one. Nope. And Josh does a really good thing where he claps, because what happens is you can see it in the sound. So you edit using the audio instead. So you can give yourself cues when you have a really good sentence, and then you can move on to the next, making your editing process super easier. And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about software. Again, you are not, it doesn't matter what software you use for editing, as long as whatever that you're using, you're comfortable with, and that your computer supports that. I use VideoPad. I paid like a monthly fee, very minimal. Jacob uses Premiere Pro. Others in our team uses iMovie. So all up to you of what you want to use. Now I want to take a moment to pass on to publishing content. So Jacob will explain that to you.
Great. So now that we have our content recorded, now we have to publish it, and we got to get people to see it. So first thing we're going to do, once you have your actual movie file exported from whatever software you're using to edit, we're going to go into our YouTube channel that we created, and we're going to click the little icon at the top that looks like a video camera and say create and upload a video. And immediately as it starts uploading, it's going to give you screens to start entering information. So first up will be your title and description. Your title, you want to make sure that it has the keywords of what you're doing. So if we're talking about Facebook ads and lead generation, we want to say Facebook ads for real estate lead generation 2022. You want to be able to think about what people are going to be looking for, and your title will give it a little more information than what your thumbnail will have. And we'll talk about that in a second. And then your description is going to be more about what the video is about, remembering to use those keywords, putting in your contact information. So if you're, talking about home tours, hey, if you're interested in touring this home, come down here and set an appointment. So making sure that your keywords are in there, that they understand what the video is about, if they know more about it. If you're going to be links to any other things, that maybe a buyer's guide or something that you're giving to these people, or a seller's guide, you can put those links in there, your contact information. But just make sure you don't have to write a whole lot in the description. Just make sure that those keywords are there for the video. Because even if people don't read it, YouTube is reading it. That's how you're going to rank with the algorithm. So it's very important to have a well-written description, free of spelling errors, which is super important. And those keywords are there. And then towards the bottom, there's going to be an advanced section where you can actually put in tags. So those tags would be those keywords again. So if it's real estate in Houston, Texas, first-time home buyers, those type of things. So you want those to in those tags as well. You get 500 characters, get it as close as you can to 500 characters. There are tools and sources that you can use to figure out which is the best tags and keywords, which we're going to go later. Make sure any relevant links are in there as well. And then at the end of your video, the last 20 seconds, an end screen is going to pop up. So you can add a graphic and music or whatever you want to your edited video if you would like. Maybe you're not technical and you're like, I'm not ready for that level just yet. You can, what'll happen is you'll have those. If you notice when you watch any video towards the end before the video is playing, you're going to start seeing videos and the subscribe link and several videos pop up and said, this is the recommended you should want to watch next. The end screen is very important, especially if there's, let's say you're doing first time home buyers and then you want to talk about, maybe you did an interview with a mortgage. You want that to be the next video they watch. This place where you're going to add that video element, and you can either put your most recent video, you can put a specific video or playlist for them to watch. And you want this because you want to show other people's content, because it might show another realtor in your area and you don't want them to go down that rabbit hole. So make sure that your content is the next content they watch. And so play with that. There's several things you can do. Most recent, a specific video or playlist. And then also at the end, you're going to see a section that as you're uploading that video and you're going through screen by screen to get all the information put in for that video, you're going to see cards. And cards are what pops up in the video at a specific moment. So for instance, I just did an ad for realtors about Facebook ads for new realtors. And part of that is the next video I'm going to put out is about how they get those leads from Facebook into their CRM. So when I talk about that, that card is the perfect thing to pop up and say, hey, check out this video on how to get your leads into the CRM. So now you're filtering the next video and keeping them engaged. So that's kind of the basics of publishing your content. And as we recap, just make sure your descriptions and your keywords are the most important thing, and that you have a good thumbnail that will attract people, and your thumbnail just wants to grab their attention, and then your title is what's going to sell them to click. So we're going to pass it on to Tharmila again, and we're going to talk about tools that will actually help us grow and rank in the algorithm.
Thank you, Jacob. So now that you published your content and remember this growth tools, I want to really take a time to talk about is that this should be the backbone to a lot of the way that you publish your content. So this research could be done prior to you thinking. The moment you start thinking about your topic, this should come into effect, and you should add it. It should be part of your recording process where you are thinking about the research, not thinking about what topics to do. And honestly, using vidIQ, TubeBuddy, even keywords everywhere, doing what people are watching. Remember, you don't want to just think of topics that other people are interested in. People are watching your content, are people that are looking for a particular thing. They're searching for it. You want to ensure that your content, when they're searching for it, pops up. This is why it's important that you leverage one of these. There are free versions on all of them, but they're also a paid version. I actually have a free version of all of them. So they're an extension browser plugin that I have on my Chrome. But I also have TubeBuddy paid, and I know Jacob has vidIQ, and so just make sure you choose one of them. They're all similar, very similar. It's just functionality and interface looks a little different, but the features are very similar, and it gives you similar content and really helping you boost your channel and optimizing your channel, helping you with growing your channel over time. So what these tools really do for us is that we look at often not only keywords and topics kind of to record, because that's what people are searching for, but it also helps us figure out how to name our videos, what kind of keywords. Remember when Jacob talked about publishing your content figure out what keywords and tags to put in that backend. So when people are searching for it, your video comes up first. So this is what these tools, growth tools, comes into perspective, is that they play really the backbone to your video doing really well. So, and another really tidbit you can do too to start off, if you're somebody who's like, okay, I don't know if I want to spend that money, and it's not expensive, but if you don't want to spend or have the budget for it, what you could do is start using the free version. And then when you feel like you're limited to some information, then you can start getting a paid version. Again, one of the three would be ideal, especially one of the two, vidIQ or TubeBuddy. And what you can also do is have this be, again, it's an integrated browser plugin. So for example, let's say you want to look at a video that you really like and you want to do a very similar video that did really well, has high volume of search but low volume in content. So that's a nice balance that you want to have, is that whenever you're looking for content, make sure there isn't a lot of videos out there, but a lot of people are searching for it. So what you're going to do is come to vidIQ, and because you already have the browser extension, so if you're going to Google, YouTube and search a video, for example, it should pop up all the popular videos in that category. You can just click on the video and it'll give you like the skeleton backbone of the video, giving you all the tags that they've used, helping you not having to do that research, because this is the video that's doing really well and you wanted to target a very similar audience with that keyword. So you can copy that. You can say copy to clipboard, and then you can go paste it into your backend before you publish. So that's where how we use our TubeBuddy and put vidIQ to process. And I know they have new functionalities now, giving you kind of, they look at your account and tell you what topics you should be doing. So really, it is an optimization tool to help you boost your algorithm, to boost your viewership and impressions over time. I highly recommend using this. Gives you tons of insights into your videos and how you can grow your channel. Next, I want to talk about is, this is a very common questions we always get from a lot of agents, is what tools, what equipments to get for recording. And so I'll give that over to Jacob.
All right. And so this is a very common question, and a lot of people use this as an excuse not to get started. Oh, I don't have the right equipment. And so honestly, just get started. So that's our deal. And as Tharmila said, is that done is better than perfect, and you can always grow. You always want to be looking to grow. If not 100% perfect, you have nowhere to go. So with your camera, if you have a newer iPhone or Samsung or Android, you have everything that you need to start. You have people do TikTok videos and all kinds of other videos with their phone every day, and people engage just fine with them. So the thing is, so if you have, like I said, a newer phone, then you have everything you need to get started. If you have a DSLR camera or a webcam, you can get started. You know, I've told some people on our team to just use their camera. You can turn it around. If you want to use the higher camera, just make sure that you adjust it to your sitting area, or if you're going to be standing, that you put it on the tripod and you adjust it to make sure you're in the frame. And you can even do like a little 5-second test, go sit down, come back and make sure it sounds good and that it looks good as well. And then also, if you have a webcam and it's a decent webcam, it's not like pixelated and blurry, but you can even just do something as simple as a Zoom and do a meeting with yourself, or Zoom will automatically download it and all of your guesswork is done. So there's several ways to actually get started. Just get going. And then when you use just your phone, depending on the space you're in, if you're in a small, you might hear a little bit of echo because of all the hard surfaces in your room that you're in. So a couple to solve that is to hang up a lot of fabrics around you, whether it's blankets or anything like that. I've seen people do that, foam or anything like that, just to absorb some of this. But even if it echoes a little bit, it is okay. The whole point is to get the content out there. We started, literally, I started with my phone, and then I had a DSLR camera already from my photo booth company. So I used that. And then I bought a cheap microphone. It was like $40. It worked for the first few videos. And then I even got another one that went onto my DSLR camera and use that as well. So when I'm out and about, but you can get really like a lapel microphone that will plug even into your phone that has a long cord on it. You can do that. And I know you can get one for $20, $30. So it's very inexpensive to get started. And then you can upgrade to the nicer microphones when you start getting traction on your channel and you want to improve the quality and you're starting to build an audience. It'll look nice, like, oh wow, their videos they're improving. People will notice that and take note. But just get started. As far as lighting, you can get a very inexpensive ring light. I've seen some even on Amazon for anywhere from $30 to $50. You don't need a $100 ring light or all this studio lighting. However, you can get it. Just make sure that you have some good lighting. You don't need to be like totally bright. Just make sure your film is not dark. And then also just make sure you have a couple tripods. There's some that you can get that are adjustable. I bought one at Walmart the other day for $35. It's a heavyweight one and it has an adjustable and it goes up to 62 inches. You can even get a small tripod that goes on your desk or a table and put it on there in front of you. There are so many things. Amazon has everything. Just go search. But just get the basics to get started. And then you can do your research to grow what is the best equipment for what you're trying to do. You can do if you're doing like tours of properties with gimbal, and they have some cheaper versions, or you could even use a selfie stick. Just something to get going and to stabilize a little bit. If you're going to do more about stuff, or if you're going to be doing sitting down, then just use your camera. So those are some of the basics of the equipment to be able to have a semi-quality product until you advance yourself. And so now I'm going to pass it on to talk about content strategies. So now that we know that we need to record, what do we record about? And how do we come up with that information? Hand it over to Tharmila for that one.
Thank you, Jacob. And when you talk about content strategy, to me, automatically I go into thinking about marketing strategy, because you have to think about who you're going to be creating the content for. Often people think, oh, they might like this topic. And to me, my whole question is, who is they? Who are you thinking about? Who are you making the content? Who's going to watch this? So think about that, right? Who is searching for it? That's why this growth tool that I talked about, vidIQ, TubeBuddy, comes into keyword everywhere. It comes into perspective, is that they're giving you actual analytics to help you with your algorithm and searches, because you want to use the content that other people are actually searching for. So some of the things is that whether you creating content for buyers, sellers, and if you are targeting investors, then you can come to our channel with Josh and I. We put out content targeting investors because we're both investors and we have this knowledge that we want to share with them. But so think about your audience and who you want to create content for, and that'll help your life a lot easier when it comes to thinking about the topics. One of the things that really help with creating content is, especially for real estate, is they can't have access to certain properties without having a real estate agent. So how can you make that work for you? So you can do a sneak peek, an insider look, take people on a property tour, giving people a real a sample of what it would be like to work with you. Right? So you can walk around a property touring saying, hey, you see this, you see that. So when you're looking for a property, keep an eye out for this. And you can really walk people through the layout of the property as if you're giving them a showing. So giving them a sample size of what it's like to work with you and giving you that competitive advantage, showing people that, hey, this person has access to all of these properties. And let's say you have access to a builder's model home. And if you can do a property tour, that would be amazing, because again, people don't off the street don't have just access to that kind of information without having a real estate agent or a builder or a contact. So this is where you can have a competitive advantage over other people in your market, is by giving people this insider information. Again, one of the other things that help you stand out is research and put out content that a lot of people might not have access to, and is market information. So let's say if you know about a new pipeline or a new transit system or station that's coming in the next couple of years to your neighborhood or community that other people don't know about, this is a perfect time for you to do a community tour. And let's say new small business or a coffee shop or even a new a brunch spot opened up, then this is your perfect time to go there. Bonus, have an amazing, have a little treat for yourself, but also film in the process. And if you're following Jacob, you'll see he does a lot of, food highlights of him exploring the neighborhood. So do a lot of, and remember, this is the beautiful part about YouTube, is that when we talked about creating content is omnipresence, is that you can create those long form content, this video on YouTube, and then you could break it up into small pieces on your social media channel, driving people back to your YouTube video, so that you're, again, increasing that watch time. And one of the most important thing that, I wanted to really talk about when you're thinking about content is you want people to, your goal of your YouTube channel is to have people come to your channel, the frequency. So that's why subscribers is huge, is you want people who are subscribed to your channel to keep coming back and watching the same videos again and again, or your sets of videos, even if you're new videos, and watch it long enough. So watch time, frequency, those are one of the more important aspect to how YouTube algorithm works. So in terms of getting topics, this is something that I wanted to really talk about, is that you probably, again, using your growth tool, you'll have access to. But one of the things that, being part of our group, what we do is we share topics, and we do that work for you by providing that with you. And one of the things actually gives it a really good segue into one of the things that I want to talk to you about, what we're doing here at Agent Wolfpack with our group is exactly this, is access to the Social Agent Academy, which is actually the Agent Wolfpack is co-founded by Mike Sherrod and Connor Steinberg, who we're a small, tightly knit group within eXp Realty, and they're the co-founders of the Agent Wolfpack. And Mike Sherrod, he actually launched this product a couple of months ago, and it's called the Social Agent Academy. And it's really essentially all of the social media platform in one place, with tons of video tutorials, him walking you step by step of each of these social media products, and really giving you a deep dive into how to not only start your channels, but also create content, run ads, and really elevate your presence in your market using all these platforms. And one of the ones he talks about is YouTube. And in this course, he gives you a list of up to 10 videos that you should be doing in your, first couple of your videos that you should be doing as a new realtor. So I highly recommend you check this out, and you have access to this product for free when you join our group. And that's one of the positives that you can take advantage of when you join our group here at EXP and you partner with our team, with myself and Jacob, is all the immense things that you have access to. And this gives it actually a really good segue into, I wanted to share with you some of the things that we're doing differently here. And that's one of the common questions we get often asked, is that, hey, how do I get access to this? And this is something that we already share with people in our group, and I want to give you guys the opportunity to have access to as well. And one of the things that we do is we have a private Google Drive with everything you could think of to help you with your branding, with content, getting it out to your clients. So buyer's guide, seller's guide. We have a business planning, a marketing strategy, templates, market reports, everything really done for you to take it, add your branding and your content to your market and share with your clients, as well as your team. And we also hold private mastermind calls on a weekly basis. We have a number of mastermind calls. Not only does we have mastermind calls for production, mindset, team building with Connor Steinberg and Mike Sherrod, but I also hold my own mastermind weekly as well for our team. Everything you could think of, between how to leverage your CRM, how to run ads, how to really elevate your business, anything that you can think of under the marketing umbrella. And I do wanted to mention that, being part of our group, you do have access to a number of private communities that Jacob and I are admin of, where you can share your content to help elevate your viewership and your views. And the other thing that we're doing here, not only locally, but we're doing this in other parts of North America too, is that we're creating all these local events, not only in person, but also virtually, giving you that local connection and ability for you to build your own team. And like I said, in a couple of months, Jacob and I were able to build our team as new real estate agents without having a broker license, no overhead costs, no anything to do with ever looking at a single paperwork. So we're giving that same option to you guys to build a real community, so that other real estate agents can help. We can all help each other earn, learn, and grow in the process. And next, I want to take a moment to talk about the one-on-one marketing consultation opportunity you have with Jacob and I. Of course, we'll be doing a disservice to people in our group if we weren't providing this service, because this is something we've been doing for a number of years to other massive brands. And we wanted to extend the services to our people in our group, where you have access to our calendar and you can book a one-on-one consultation where we'll give you an audit of your brand and give you strategies of how to elevate your brand over time in your market. And next, I want to hand over to Jacob to talk about some other opportunities we have in our group.
Yeah, and one of the other resources and tools that we're doing differently than everyone else is that we have a YouTube channel that we collaborate on, and we showcase not only our group and then videos that we do as well. And just like this webinar that you're watching today, we're going to put it up in there. We're constantly putting in valuable content onto this YouTube channel. So whether you're a new agent looking for a brokerage, you're trying to figure out what to look for in a mentor or a sponsor, or maybe you need help with lead generation or social media strategies, we have literally so much content out there for everybody. Whether you're a new realtor or you've been in the business 10 years, we have content for you. And it's just a great collaboration to where you're not stuck with one person's skill set, but we have an entire group that has skill sets, and we want to highlight those. And then also, like we mentioned in the beginning, Tharmila and I are the co-founders of Marketing and Mindset. And this is literally kind of my passion is marketing, period. And I love that I can combine my love for real estate and my love for marketing through this company. And not only do we offer every branding, video editing, we offer the traditional digital marketing services that a marketing agency would offer, but we also have come out with an incredible product for realtors. After talking to realtors, we realized a lot of people are wasting 2 to 3 hours a day trying to plan their social media. And that's 2 to 3 hours a day that they're taking away from their businesses. They could have been reaching clients and prospecting and lead generating. And we found a way to basically give them those strategies without spending that. They can spend 2 to 3 hours a week planning their content. And that's with our social media calendar for realtors. And it's a great calendar that gives you daily strategies, also with editable templates, teaches you how to get out in your community and leverage other audiences out there from their channels, and network with professionals in your area, and how to really grow organically your social media following, how to use a great lead generation source long term. And for literally $1.63 a day, you can get access to that. And I could talk on and on about it. You get access to digital marketing templates, you get access to print templates and other post templates that are out there that you need to grow your real estate business. You also get a free 7-day trial. And we're working on a free version as well, where you can get access to some of the more basic content just to get a look and feel for it. If you're interested in that, look at the links in our bio, and we have a link for that as well. And I am going to pass it back to Tharmila to end us out.
Awesome. And I always love ending our presentation with this quote, and it says, "Fortune favors the prepared mind." And, I really wanted to talk about this idea of whether you want to attract good things in life, good people, fortune, luck, whether you wanted to, aim towards becoming great. And in order for you to do that, you need to have a prepared mind. You need to do the research, you need to do the homework, and you need to have an open mind to accept new opportunities. And that's why it was super important for us to, even getting on YouTube was a very new idea, a very new concept. And if I didn't go into it with an open mind, then I wouldn't have seen the possibility of what YouTube can do for me. And so I really wanted to end this off knowing that, let yourself, don't let yourself stand in the way of your own opportunities and things that you are destined to do. And this is a really good segue into us taking questions. I know that I'm not sure if you have any questions, Jacob, but I do have 2 questions on my end that I got that I wanted to ask and that I wanted to put out here. So one of the questions we were asked is, I think they were asking about teleprompter. So they were asking, what app are you using, and what does it mean? I think, okay, so because often when people think of teleprompter, they think, you think of like a news reporter, like your equipment. No. So all you need to do is, if you put teleprompter in Google Play or Android, wherever, into your app store, Microsoft App Store, whatever you want to, you can put it in there, Apple Store. It'll give you like a teleprompter app. You can download it on your phone. At first I used an additional phone, so on a tripod, and would read it, but it wasn't big enough. So I started using my tablet. But I know Jacob also suggested just put it on your Google Slide. You don't even need to download an app. Put it on your Google Slide and just use your laptop, and you can just read it, or put it on a Word document and make it big, and just so that you can read the copy, so that you're not too, because you're going to be a bit further away from the camera, so in case you're not able to read it. But that's exactly it, because I know, people, when I say teleprompter, they're like, oh, where do you get this? What is this tool? So I just wanted to make sure it's nothing fancy. I literally Googled an app and I used it on my tablet. But again, it could be super simple. It could even be on a piece of paper. You can print out your script and paste it right up beside the camera, and so it can help you stay in line with what you need to say. So that's that question. And the second question I was asked is, in terms of where are you guys filming, and is daylight an option? Absolutely. You don't need any fancy lighting. If you actually go into some of my YouTube videos at the beginning when I started doing them, I did it in front of a wall adjacent. I still put the same background image right behind it, and I was literally adjacent to my kitchen using the lights that were coming. Because remember, when you're using daylight, remember you're not against the light, so the camera, they're able to see you. Make sure the light is coming to yourself, it's facing you, so that you're kind of taking advantage of the light. But again, you can do it outdoors as well, but there's some disadvantage to that because you need to make sure you have the right audio because of wind. But do you want to add to that, Jacob?
I mean, as far as the lighting goes, I mean, even in my office right now, the window is to the left of me. And that's the light that's providing my office. I have a normal overhead light that's very tiny. I don't have a ring light on right now. So you just use what's there, and then, you know, start off that way. Just make sure you can just literally go open the blinds in front of a window, and then just make sure you have a decent solid background. And that's a great way to start. So
Perfect.
you
Yeah.
don't have to, I would stay away from outside unless you're doing like some type of event, just because the wind and all that stuff can start being a factor. If you don't have a good microphone for that, then that's gonna kind of distort your audio. But definitely utilize the room.
Yeah, utilize anywhere. I film in my room right here. You can even, I know Jacob, you were giving one of our team member, because they were asking about all of these questions. One of the tidbit you gave them was to record on Zoom. Isn't
Yeah,
that
most people, they either don't have the equipment, but a lot of people have decent webcams in their computers anymore if you have a newer computer. So literally you just go into Zoom, click new meeting, and you're going to be the only person attending. And you just want to make sure it's set to speaker view. It is going to show you in the corner. You can always crop it out, and you can even turn that off. But it's just a way to get started. You know, just get yourself out there, and then you can literally Zoom instantly, download the video to your computer, and then you can even just pass it to your phone, email it to yourself, or put it in a Google Drive. If you don't have a video editor, just use the built-in one, at least for Android. You can click edit, and I can trim the beginning and the end if you didn't have a lot of mess ups that you need to control. A good tidbit I would do too is just start off with a small video. Even if it's an intro, keep your videos under 5 minutes, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, just to get them out there. That'll help you with watch time until you can get comfortable in front of the camera, so you don't have to do a lot of editing if that's not you're not a big tech savvy person. So that would be my last tidbit.
Awesome. Thank you, Jacob. And I hope we were able to answer your questions, and I hope I answered them correctly. And if you have any questions around it, feel free to get in touch with us, or you can leave your questions here. But if does anybody else have any questions at this moment? And do you have any questions on your end, Jacob?
I'm not seeing any. So looks like we're good. Apparently we answered everybody's questions. So.
Beautiful. Thank you everyone so much for spending your Monday afternoon with us. It was a super insightful webinar. Thank you so much, Jacob, for joining us and for sharing your knowledge with us. And if you have any questions about any of the stuff that you learned today, or if you have questions about joining our group and to partner with us, you could find the link in our description. And because we're going to be putting this video on YouTube as well, or you can get in touch with us because we're going to be emailing all of the people that have attended today. So feel free to reply back to that email, and we'll be in touch with you. And we really appreciate all of you attending, and hope to stay in touch for some of the new webinar series we're going to be launching in the next couple of weeks. But all the best to you.